if you want a simpler life, you should not get married. One reason Paul advocates for singleness in 1 Corinthians 7 is that marriage can create obligations and distractions that take our attention away from the Lord. Now, notice I said it can do that. It doesn't have to do that. And so, again, when you read the whole chapter of 1 Corinthians 7, it's very clear that Paul is not saying every single Christian who's ever existed would definitely be better off if they chose singleness. That is just not the context. You have to remember, too, that Paul's the one who wrote Ephesians 5:22 through 33. He's the one who said, this relationship of a husband and wife is actually designed by God to reflect Christ and the church, which is obviously a big blessing to experience. So Paul's not saying marriage is bad, singleness is good. He's just saying the reality of it is that marriage can become a distraction because it does introduce extra obligations that you don't have when you're single. And that's what he was talking about in 1 Corinthians 7:32 through 35. He says, I want you to be free from anxiety. The unmarried man is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to please the Lord. But the married man is anxious about worldly things, how to please his wife. And his interests are divided. And the unmarried or betrothed woman is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to be holy in body and spirit. But the married woman is anxious about worldly things, how to please her husband. I say this for your own benefit, not to lay any restraint upon you, but to promote good order and to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. So did you catch that last part there? Again, he says, my main point here is that I want you to have an undivided devotion to the Lord. For some, that means you should get married. And for other people, that means you should pursue singleness. Paul's theme of focusing totally on God is why in 1 Corinthians 7:29, he said, from now on, let those who have wives live as though they had none. Obviously, he's not telling spouses to neglect their roles as spouses. In 1 Corinthians 7:1 through 16, Paul gives numerous commands to spouses about treating each other properly. He wouldn't then instantly contradict himself that same chapter by telling spouses to live as though they are single. It's definitely possible to be fully devoted to Christ as a married person. And it's definitely possible to be fully devoted to Christ as a single person.